Okay, so I hope you had a bit of fun having a go at integrating some of the Bootstrap components into a website of yours. So let's get started and have a go. So the first thing obviously I'm going to do is I want to go to Bootstrap. So I'm just going to search for Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go into the documentation in order to find all of those components. So here we go. At the left here, we have all the components. And I'm just going to go crazy here. Let's start off with a warning alert. Actually, no, let's start off with the navigation bar. That kind of makes sense, right? So I'm going to go to navbar. And yeah, I like the look of this top one. So I'm just going to take all of this and put it into my HTML. Obviously, first thing I want to do is actually get the HTML going. So I've got a head and a body. Now, when I run this, and I'm just going to indent this a bit more, a bit better. There we go. That will do for now anyway. So when I run this, now hopefully you will have realized this isn't actually going to work properly. So the reason for that is, we go run this one, fun. You can see none of the Bootstrap styling is working. That's of course because we haven't yet linked the Bootstrap in our head. So if any of you came across this problem where it just wasn't styling at all, that's probably what's going on here. So what we want to do is we want to go to Getting Started. Here we can get those lines that we talked about at the start. So we get this one, the CSS, we put it in the head, and then let's also add in all this JavaScript to the bottom. So that's just at the bottom of body. Okay, so now if we run this, there we go, we've got our navigation bar. Fantastic. Now let's go back into our components, and yeah, so I'm going to add a warning alert at the top. So yeah, I've just found the one that says alert warning. And we're going to add this in. So I won't do too many components because you'll get the idea of what I'm doing quite quickly. I'm just going to change this a little bit to say, warning, this site is awesome. Because you have to warn people if your website is too awesome, of course. There we go, fantastic. And I'm going to add, let's take a look at cards. We haven't been over cards yet. So I'm going to add one of these in. Just underneath. Now obviously we don't have an image to add to this card. But I do like cards. They're very useful, especially if you're creating like a one-pager. And this is a really good way if you have like 3 of these lined next to each other to describe the value of what you're offering, for example. It can be really cool. So you could put, for example, my skills. Let's say if this is in your portfolio, you can say my skills by span. Nice little pun there. Well, not a pun, but we're using some HTML there. Span HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. See my work. I save that. Fantastic. So we don't have the image, unfortunately, but well, I guess we could download an image. Let's just download this as an image. No, we'll leave that for now. But you get the idea of it, essentially. So we have that here, and let's say I want to change this now, just to practice the whole customizing the classes stuff. So we want to look in to where we have our warning. As we can see here, the class is alert warning. That's the one that we want to change. So I'm going to go into my CSS. I'm going to use that alert-warning, I believe it was called. Yep, alert-warning. And I basically want to change the color of the font to blue So also what I need to do is I need to link this, my custom CSS, in just below the Bootstrap, because if I add it above, it's not going to work properly. So I always have to add it in below. And if I refresh, fantastic, that's changed. So hopefully I'm not going to keep adding more things, because you kind of get the idea of what I've been doing here, and you can just keep clicking through and finding out all these awesome different things to use. So I hope you've had a really good play around with the different components, and you've been able to edit a few of the classes as well. So congratulations on having a play with Bootstrap. You're doing really well so far, and what I'd say is, once you get into the rhythm of using Bootstrap, it becomes like a second nature. It becomes very, very easy to do. So I do recommend you go over this a few times. And then when you're ready, I'll see you in the next lecture.